What's up with your man Tom Brady cloning his dog, bro?
This is bad of me, but I think when I saw that, the first thing I thought, because he's like an investor in this company, was what they doing on humans, and is Tom Brady interested? That's the first thing I thought, which is like inappropriate thought to have, but it seemed consistent with. I don't know. Just go ahead and
Well, also, Tom Brady is up for shady futuristic endeavors, right? Fortune favors the brave. Was that him? Was he in the FTX world?
Yeah, he was for that. And he also like has these weird, crazy diets.
He
And
does.
never mind. I'm sure we've discussed my opinions on those before. Definitely not while being recorded, but for some other time. But
Wow, those must be super hot takes.
no, they're not hot takes. It's just I don't like when people start pre-explaining things with diet. I think I'll just leave it at that. Whenever somebody starts talking about, I started eating right. That's why I'm about to have some advantages.
Yeah, that sounds like just
concerned.
Giambi. Yeah, I just lost like 8 pounds, man. Just cleaned up my diet. No, it has nothing to do with the drug testing they just started. Not saying that's Tom Brady, but I'm saying
Just in
that
general, I
macro.
get concerned that if you've been an all-star, superstar, great athlete and high level your whole life, that why you wasn't doing this before. That's all I be wondering. Why you wasn't doing why you wasn't getting rid of these foods before. But the cloning the dog thing, and I hold space for the idea that maybe I'm just an old man, and when I was 20, futuristic stuff seemed appropriate, and there are probably things that other people was like, nah, this is dumb or whatever. And I know like you could go back a long history of people saying you playing with God or you playing like you God, and it's actually just like the introduction of medicine. I get that. But this feel weird, man.
Yeah. I got to make sure my brother don't find out about this. My brother can't turn down no gadget or no technology. That's why some of these people got our goddamn DNA. Just had to find out where we from in Africa, huh? Right? Like that's just what we had to do. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, like the idea that the dog could be cloned, that's a terrifying technology because I just can't imagine how many people want to get a hold of that one.
The DNA
And it ain't
point.
but it ain't gonna be the same dog, man.
Yeah, definitely not gonna be the same dog. We can get back to that, but when you said the DNA, it reminded me of like obviously there are these databases of DNA that help law enforcement find people or whatever that have committed crimes. Or DNA is at a crime scene. So with the Louvre crime, they found some DNA on those things. And it's not even that, which is like incredible to me that you're able to find these little bits of DNA on a window or whatever. That's fine. That's science. All right, I accept it. They said in France, it's like mandatory. If you don't give up your DNA, they fine you or put you in jail. And I was like, what? That like I'll Google it now just to make sure I'm not spreading no misinformation. But I was listening to like some NPR news thing, and they were saying that to some degree is you are compelled to do it, or you can pay a fine or go to jail for a certain amount of days.
Okay. It says under very specific legally regulated circumstances, maybe.
Well, ain't
by the way, here's what's interesting: DNA testing for genealogy is illegal in France. I love that. They're like, come on, this is an obvious setup.
Yeah, I mean, is this just like to ward off the potential of reparations? Like, why they want to?
Oh, that's a great question. But I love them being like, come on, man. That seems. Are you sure you really want to do this?
I just want to know why. I'm sure that France say they didn't decide to do this because they want to protect the people.
I mean, don't know. Or maybe they think that is not data that should be trusted with corporations.
I could agree with that.
You know, maybe.
But, maybe I'm just jaded by American government where their corporations can make the things legal they want to be legal. I know things are different over there in France.
All I'm saying is this. France was way high on my if I got a list. And that piece of information makes me look at the place a little bit differently. Like everything, that's one thing, man. There's a lot of this America that I do acknowledge. I don't try to sound like them people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that I do realize that we take for granted about how we get down in America, that you go somewhere else, even the places that you think are cool. Like that First Amendment thing here, other places ain't got those.
No, I'm 100% with you, and I also it's a lot like being a parent in that when I tell my kids how grateful they are or how grateful they should be, or I think how grateful they should be for all the things that they have, it's all they known. And it don't make the fact that they ain't getting what they want right now feel any better. Right. I feel the same way about America. Like, yeah, so much of this shit is awesome. But that don't mean that the shit that stinks don't stink.
Oh, no, you're totally right. I've just found out that that maybe they might stick a swab me over there, and I had not bet on that when I was coming up with contingency plans.
Soon as you walk across them lines, or soon as the plane land, they're gonna check, make sure, just in case you want to steal some jewels from the Louvre, be able to find your one.
You know, something else about that, I saw it. I thought this was interesting. Was apparently it seemed like they were really good thieves.
Yeah.
And I guess they were good at the thieving part, but apparently they were actually quite panicked and left a whole treasure trove of clues behind. They were just like, look, man, get in and get out. We'll worry about the rest of that later. They were shook like you would be if you decided you were going to break in the Louvre.
They dropped the jewels. They couldn't light the thing on fire. That's all wild. But the reason why I think you were right to make that assumption is because we all have had this thought, like fencing something like that seems impossible. So obviously you would think how you could make money. So if you have the connections to move something like that, you got to be sophisticated, or maybe you just dumb.
Yeah. And it would tell you something else too. I don't know how you put a crew together to do this.
Yeah.
Because like the real pros are like, nah, dog, this is they're going to find you. It may not be tomorrow, but here's what this will not be: a cold case.
I have not, maybe it's watching too many movies, but I assume that what would have to happen in this case is the people that did the job are dummies who are willing to do the job, and they bring it and deliver it. When it's time to get paid, they not leaving because they know what's happening. And this is just my movie mind. And then you go off and get things done. But I can't imagine the fact that these guys seem to also be the ones. I don't know. We don't know how this all worked out, but it seems quite messy.
I will say this. Your plan of I'm going to break into the Louvre and these people are going to pay me and then I'm going to get my cut. No. That's not going to. You're going to get smoked.
You're going to get cut all right.
Yeah, you're going to get smoked. Let me tell you, that reminds me of an analogous story. And I went over there to Asia last year, went to Cambodia. And I didn't really know that much about the Khmer Rouge, except that they was, kind of dastardly. But apparently, from the way the story that the guides were telling us, is that the Khmer Rouge was funded, like the king had been exiled. And the king was funding, I think it was the Khmer Rouge. If it wasn't them, it was another outfit. But anyway, the king was in China, and he was funding this outfit to overthrow the government to put him back in power. And so he giving them the money to put him back in power. And they finally won, and they're like, yeah, come on down, right? They're like, hey, baby, it's a party, man. Only thing that's missing is you, dog. Everywhere I go, they like, bro, where the king at? Where the king at? You got to come back, dog. It's cracking down here. And so the king come back, and when the king come back, they locked his ass up. It was like, what we need you for? we got the country.
We're just going to hand you the reins.
Right.
For what?
A deal's a deal. Right? No, they threw his ass in jail.
That's the thing. That's the thing about operating in these places or operating in these environments. Like, and I don't mean countries. I just mean like if you're working in the underworld where there's no legal recourse.
Right.
Yeah, there's some things that
call.
Yeah, it eventually always get down to, but can you whoop my ass?
Yes.
Like at some point, that's what it's gonna come down to. And if you don't got the people that can get the job done, maybe you should stay out of there.
We just overthrew a whole country. Why you think we can't overthrow you? We have all the infrastructure we need right here. I got enough friends to overthrow a country.
Yeah. And you have demonstrated that you're the type of person to pay people to overthrow governments. Why you are dastardly yourself? I'ma trust you? Nah. As soon as you shook my hand, I knew you wasn't shit.
And when shit get tight, you run. right? We stood 10 toes down.
Lost friends, I'm sure.
You ran
Ugh,
away.
that's
We
a fair
see
point.
you.